We don't.
We do not have producers. Hello, how are we doing?
I'm doing excellent. How are you, babe?
I mean, I'm here. I'm hanging in there.
Okay, that's good to know. Glad you're still hanging in here with us. So, have you heard
Yes, I've heard.
that there is swinging in old Utah?
Yes, I'm actually the one that told you about
Mormon
that.
country. Yeah, so Annie got stuck on this show when we were riding back from Key West for 12 hours. She started watching. It's on Hulu, right?
I don't
Hulu
know.
or
This
Netflix,
is
I
our
can't
intro.
remember.
We should not be talking about the entire thing.
You took the lead, ma'am.
Okay, we'll be back. If you've tuned in to see if you can argue with your spouse and still be madly in love, you're in the right spot.
I'm Kent.
And I'm Annie.
And we're the Cocos. Sound like a game show.
We're your host of Life's Little Arguments. We're not trained experts in love and marriage. Actually, we might be quite dysfunctional, but we have been happily married for 16 years.
Debatable.
Not only will we share all the ups and downs of marriage, but the ins and outs of raising his and her kids, growing through new jobs and opportunities, and our latest obsession, our empty nest babies, our dogs, Blakely and Lincoln.
So if you hear ding, ding, ding across the microphone, they're probably walking across the floor.
Listen in each week while we discuss our life, current events, random TikToks, and the little arguments that undoubtedly come up. Whether you're in a long-term relationship yourself or in a fresh new relationship, we hope you find our podcast fun, entertaining, and helps you realize there is a normal in life's little arguments. All right. So before we go back to that, you kind of just jumped the gun.
It was a little teether, what we call teether. If talent, I'm a little teether. Hey, so we have gotten some feedback apparently that I do not sound loud enough on this
something's
podcast.
up with your mic.
So I'm like making out with the freaking microphone right now. And Annie's like, I still can't hear it. And I'm like, dude, I have been able to hear myself perfectly fine. So I say all that to say that if it sounds like I'm talking on top of the freaking microphone, it's because I'm talking on top of the freaking microphone.
Maybe something's wrong with my headset.
Maybe it's your hearing. Possibly. I thought you just had selective hearing, but maybe your hearing's going out too. I'm guessing it's perimenopause.
My hearing is definitely bad.
Yes,
I know that.
Absolutely part of perimenopause, along with every other fucking ailment in the world.
Wow.
No such thing as just getting old. It's perimenopause.
That is absolutely a true statement, but we're not going to go back there. We're not going to focus on the negative. We're only going to focus on the positive because this trip was so positive, right?
Yeah.
Sure. That's where story and I are sticking to it.
Yeah. It was a good trip, but, here's the thing. If it was 85 degrees with a little breeze, it would have been a damn near perfect trip.
Yeah, for sure.
But the fact is, it was 105 degrees with a heat index of 115 degrees with no breeze, and it made sightseeing absolutely miserable.
There was no sightseeing.
It was just the heat. I mean, honestly, if the heat wasn't there, it would have been perfect. But and this trip was a little different. I can't remember if we talked about it on our last short episode, but normally I say normally, we've only been one other time, but
right.
But what normally happens is you got a group that goes down to motorhomes, stays in this luxury RV park, and everyone's kind of in the same area, so everyone's kind of doing the same thing. And then if you want to go downtown, you all ride downtown together. This is a little different in the fact that a handful of us were already downtown, stayed in Airbnbs, and then some of us were in the motorhome, the camper RV park. Damn, I couldn't think of RV.
I don't know what I've spaced out. I completely didn't even hear what you said.
So it was a little different in the fact that meeting up and doing everything together was not quite the same. And I don't know how I feel about that. There's parts of that I liked and parts of it I didn't like. So I'll have to think about that a little bit more to see which I like better, honestly. No.
I loved
you did a hell of a job picking a spot, by the way.
I think our Airbnb turned out really well for us as far as being very convenient to everything. I love the fact that we had separate bedrooms and separate bathrooms. Now, I did not care for the fact that both of the bathrooms were in the living room.
Walk through the living room.
I was hoping for an ensuite bathroom.
I'll be honest with you.
Beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
What I was hoping for is that I was going to be going to Pound Town at the same time Bud was going to be going to Pound Town, and you and Myra were going to have to cross paths in the living room on the way to the bathroom. I don't know if that ever happened.
It did not happen. That did not happen.
That would have made my trip right there.
I did not care for that because as soon as we got done with sexy time, I had to
take it to the bathroom, which meant walking through the kitchen to the living room. And if anybody, Bud or Myra, were sitting on the couch, I'm like, hey, I know I just used the bathroom, 10 minutes ago, and now I'm using the bathroom again. It's fine. Everything's fine. So that was a little awkward. But other than that, I think it was, it worked. As far as where it was located, it was very nice. It was a cute little Airbnb as far as the way it was set up, and with the pool in the back. That little area was so cute. Yeah. It was very secluded. It was nice and shaded. So even during the middle of the day, you had some shade back there, so you could kind of lay out and, not completely be in full sun. So that was cute. The hot tub, AKA the pool.
Because there was no circulation.
I don't think there's a pool in Key West that could be cool. Right. It's just not an option. When you're that close to the equator, I guess, it's just not an option to have a pool that is cool. And so our little...
She's dropping some geography on it.
Well, I'm not even 100%. I feel like that's closer than we are.
We're in the southernmost point of the continental U.S.
Yes. So, but it was very cute. It was really cute.
Quaint.
We the first night there, we met everybody in the Airbnb. Everybody was out at the pool, and we saw everybody.
She says everyone there. Annie also just walks into the wrong Airbnb area because they were named or whatever. We didn't realize they were named.
I didn't realize they were named.
One big house.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're on the front porch and we're just kind of like, do we go here? So she opens up the door, kind of shakes it, and this lady finally walks out and was like, "Yeah, I think y'all trying to get into the wrong Airbnb,
the wrong place." I'm like,
and then we see the sign that names it, and we're like, "Oh, gee." So then ours ended up being to the right, upstairs, or whatever. But we felt pretty stupid whenever that happened.
What is that noise? My God!
I'm talent. I left my phone on regular phone. My bad. My apologies.
Speaking of, I'm going to turn mine off real quick just in case.
So anyhow, that's kind of how it started. But yeah, we met some folks from Nashville. We met some folks from
Utah.
California, from Utah. There was a younger group there. They were a lot of fun to hang out with and talk with.
It was very interesting because these... I consider them kids still because, they're younger than me, but they're not that much younger.
30, 35,
they were like 30, mid-30s, and none of them had kids. And only, I think one group of them were married. One couple was married. The rest of them were all just together. And it was just very interesting because, it's just very different. Like, we had kids, we were very early 20s.
I think we even talked about that. I mean, like you take Ashley and Jackson, for example, like... I assume they'll have kids at some point, but they don't seem to be...
They're in no rush whatsoever.
They got their dogs, and I think that's a thing. Like, the younger kids now, they take in these dogs, and that's their kids until they're 35, 40 years old, and then that's when they decide to have kids. And a lot of times, they may decide not to have kids. I don't know, but... I certainly hope ours do at some point. I'm not in any hurry either, by the way, but I hope at some point they do so they can give us some grandkids to play with, and then send home.
Send home. The send home part. So that was interesting. So I feel like from that standpoint, the Airbnb was very nice. Again, the bathroom situation. We already talked about how bathrooms like on vacations and stuff kind of skis me out, but
is that why you have problems, do you think?
I don't know. No, I think it's a woman thing. I feel like, and maybe it's not all women, maybe it's just me, but
our female roommate said the same thing.
My colon, basically, when we decide it's time for vacation and the second we leave, my colon's like, all right, see ya. When you get back, we'll meet back up. And it does not happen whatsoever. And
why do you think? Is it the diet? Is it the heat? Is it what is it? Do you think?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know, but it's happened for as long as I can remember. But I'm not, people are like, well, drink some black coffee. Well, I'm not a coffee drinker, so that doesn't that don't work for me.
Do you think it's because you're just nervous in like a different bathroom?
No, it decides to, it's just like, see ya. Well, I'll see you when you get back here. When you get back to your normal throne, we will connect again.
Which, let's be honest, I mean, you're not like
No, I'm not super regular anyway.
reindeer or anything.
No.
Like me, if I eat, I'm going. That's all there is to it.
It boggles my mind how your body works like that.
Yeah. Even after all these years, it still frustrates you too for whatever reason.
It really does. It does.
Honestly, there have been times where like the frustrating part is like when you go eat and then you want to go like shop or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I got a code red come on.
Yes, that's annoying.
That doesn't happen nearly as much as it used to, but it does still happen from time to time.
And honestly, like, I think that's the definition of IBS. You just say it's normal going to the bathroom. I don't think it is.
Based on the commercials I have seen, I think you're probably onto something there. Yeah. I could probably go to the doctor and whatever, but you know what? I have learned to live with it. I have learned to live with my IBS. I'm glad you're poking fun at my disability.
Oh, I'm not poking fun. I'm just saying, I'm pointing it out.
No, you're probably right. Mine's probably a little overactive. But anyways, we're talking about shit on our podcast.
We do talk about a lot of shit on our podcast, and that is one of them.
So once we got back, I guess everything probably started doing okay?
Yeah, honestly, it was before we even got out of Florida. It was like, knock, knock, knock. Hello, remember me?
We're back in Georgia.
Remember me, your friend? And I'm like, damn, okay, here we go. I'm fixing to have to, it already skeezes me out. So now I'm going to have to go into like the truck stop. Like this is not okay. So it's not a truck stop. What is it? It's on the turnpike.
It's a nicer stop. I mean, it's what we would call a truck stop, a convenience store.
But is that all they have? Because that's all we stopped at.
Yeah, I think so. They don't have right exits like we do in Georgia. They have the left exit in the middle of the interstate.
That's very strange.
It's a little different. But they've got a few restaurants. And anyhow, I would be curious to know if this is a female issue or if it's an Annie issue. Not that you want to give TMI, but send Annie a message and say you're not the only one, so she can feel a little bit better about herself.
Please let me feel better about my colon issues.
She wants to see if you also do not shit when you go on. No, but I know that it has to at some point kind of affect the way you feel and whether or not you're tired or energetic or cramp. It's
more so you just feel so like you feel bloated, like you're not cute, and your clothes don't fit well, and you're like, damn, now I'm fixing to get into a bathing suit. And,
can we talk about bathing suits? Because
I mean, it was not in this order on my agenda.
Let me go on and tell you, your ass.
I got no acetol.
You do have no acetol disease, but you looked like a freaking smoke show. And that one picture, well, you took a lot of good pictures, but the one picture where you're like leaning back on your paddleboard or whatever it was that you were laying on. White bathing suit, by far, no question, my favorite picture of all time.
Really?
All time of you. In fact, I want to get it blown up and put in our bedroom on canvas.
Strange.
I don't know if you think that's weird, but right above our bed.
It is
actually, that would be weird because you can see through the living room. That might be a little weird. But on the other wall, I might even put it in here in the office.
Okay.
So I can stare at it while we're doing this podcast. By far, my favorite picture ever.
Huh. Okay, I'll take that. I honestly felt pretty good about myself, which is, I made a post on it, obviously know this, yesterday, about confidence over 45 and just, how I typically would feel very uncomfortable in that situation. I don't, I've never been one that's been very comfortable with my body. And certainly, being in bathing suits is always a stressor, but, everybody wanted to be like in thongs and G-strings or whatever. And so like, okay, well, I'm going to hop on this bandwagon with everybody else because I'm not going to be the one that's wearing like granny panties. Like that's not happening. So, I ordered like 18,000 bathing suits and found ones that seemed to work. And by the time I got down there, I mean, I was talking to myself. I'm like telling myself that I love my body and my body is great and I feel good about this. And I did it enough that I really actually kind of felt pretty good.
You're a completely different person. When your confidence is there, like I've told you before, like that is the sexiest thing to me is when you can kind of, and you're like walking around feeling myself or anything like that. It's just, you can tell that you feel comfortable. You're not trying to hide. You're not putting yourself down. I mean, you really and truly feel comfortable, and that's sexy as hell to me.
Well, as a matter of fact, before we went, I even made a point to tell you, like, listen, I'm fixing to wear this type of bathing suit. It's not what I normally do because I normally make sure that I have a bathing suit bottom that, covers my scar from the tummy tuck and it kind of hides the dog ear part because those kind of stick out. And especially if I gain, any weight, they stick out a little bit more. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wear like a high cut bathing suit and, it's going to show these particular spots, and I need you to just keep your mouth shut. Like, if you don't like it, I don't care. Just don't say anything. You don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And you did that because you pretty, I don't want to say you're critical, but I
will be honest with you.
You will be honest that you don't like something.
Right, because you're asking for my opinion.
I don't know that I always am asking for your opinion. I'm literally just like showing you. That's not really asking for your opinion.
Well, I know that when you did the try-on haul, I think you tried on, let's just call it 12 bathing suits. And I think I fell in love with 11 of them. And that's probably the first time that's ever happened.
Right.
Because normally I'm like, this is,
Normally you would kind of be picking them apart about this is not your best look.
Well, okay.
And you don't say like you're fat or something. You're just like, that maybe is not your best look. That's typically what I hear you say.
Right. And a lot of times it's because I know where your insecurities are.
Right.
And if I don't feel like that it accentuates a certain area, or if I feel like if it's not as flattering in that area that you're insecure, I know what's going to happen. You're going to put it on. You're either going to take it off and never wear it again, or you're going to put it on and not feel yourself.
Yeah.
And I would much rather ahead of time say, look, it's just not your best look, but these other 12 look amazing on you. Like, I would much rather do that because when you put those other 12 on, you're gonna be feeling yourself.
Yeah.
And I would argue, not that I'm always right, but I would argue that I'm pretty darn accurate, I think. Because if you're asking in a certain way, I think it's you already know.
There is that, yes, that is a true thing, and you can tell it, and you can sense it, and I get that. But there have been times where I did like something and you did not like something, and so because you don't like it, then I don't take it, don't put it on, don't keep it, whatever. And so this time I was like, I really don't want your opinion. I don't really want you to say whether you like it or you think it's not my best look. I like it. This is what I'm taking. I just want you to know this is what I'm fixing to wear, like it or not.
Yeah.
And you did a good job by keeping your mouth shut, and you seemed to like everything that I wore. As a matter of fact, I didn't have enough time to wear them all. I was changing twice a day. Like our little pool down there, as soon as we got there, I put the first one on, and then we came back to the pool later that night. I put a new one on. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, like I've got so many. I'd have to change 3 times a day
and listen,
to wear all these.
She ordered these from Shein, I guess.
Yeah,
so
I don't even want to admit that.
Right,
but, yes.
but I mean, I want people to think she's not out here spending $95 on each bathing suit. It's more like $9.50.
Yeah, and these are.
And then you can send them back, whatever.
Well, they're barely, they're not made well, so they're clearly
but they're
one
one-timers.
season.
Yeah,
almost one time for real, one season for sure.
But anyways, I loved everything that you wore, bathing suits, not bathing suits. You were on fire the whole week to me, literally and figuratively.
I was
it was so hot.
Was I really on fire?
It was so hot, it was miserable.
But I feel like you said something about my posting these. Because I posted 3. First of all, okay, I changed my cover photo after the boat day,
which now shows basically all boobs.
Sure, if you look at it that way.
That's exactly how I look at it, and everyone else. When I look, my eyes go to your boobs.
And then my profile pic is a picture of us
in a bathing suit with a G-string thong on, which I love the picture.
It's a G-string actually.
It's
the jewel butt. It's the jewel butt. And I would. In the past, I would have never in my life posted a picture like that. But I'm like,
100%.
you know what? F it. I don't care. Like, it is what... Right. Who cares?
WWBD.
What is WWB? Who's BD?
What would Birdie do?
She'd die.
Right.
She would roll over
so then
in her grave 1,000 times.
You made this post about the confidence, which was a great post.
And so I posted 2 more bikini pics for the point of pointing out. But I was pointing out like all the things that were different.
Agree.
And that about my body and whatever.
So
what are you doing? Can you please get off your freaking phone?
What are you doing? Today,
well, can you stop? Because it's annoying. We're in the middle of this fucking podcast. Turn your phone over. No, put it over there. Put it over there because it's annoying. That's rude.
So the only thing I said today was, which by the way, I loved your post, your confidence post. Agree with it. I read it. It resonated with women, which I think is great. The pictures were phenomenal.
But
all I said was, hey, let's just give some thought to maybe changing this profile pic or this cover photo, one or the other. I left it up to her. I said it's up to you.
And why? Why do you feel this way?
I feel like that much in both the cover and the profile may just be a little much. I don't know.
A little much how? You don't want people looking at it, or you like? Does it make you feel a little jealous, or you feel
honestly,
like I'm trying to understand?
I don't know.
Because you were in one of the pictures, so I'm trying to understand.
I don't know the answer to that one, so you can take that one. You can keep that one. That one's fine. Because my cover photo. Well, I guess
you changed it today.
No, my cover photo is us, but you can only see our legs. Now, when the initial post comes out, it shows the whole picture,
right.
which is a great picture of us, by the way. But now it just shows the bottom part, and it shows like Key West or something like that. I don't know. I guess I just kind of thought, let's mix it up a little bit. I don't know. I don't have a real reason.
I'm trying to understand why.
I didn't get jealous when you posted it. It doesn't make me jealous to see it on there. I guess I don't really have a reason other than your boobs are just on full display on your cover photo. Like, go look at your cover photo.
Right, but nobody sees that. You understand that, right?
Well, that's what
Unless you go to my personal page, nobody sees that. When you're just looking at your news feed, you do not see that.
Well, you pointed that out tonight on our dog walk. I wasn't thinking about that. What I was thinking about is, because I think I probably go to people's pages more than the normal person. I feel like I do. I mean, I clearly went to yours. I was like, whoa, hey there, hey now. And I think I go to, like, maybe it's because I friend a lot of people and I go to their pages to see who they are and whatever. Or if I get a friend request, I pull up their profile to make sure, hey, it's person's legit or whatever. So I feel like I probably look at cover photos more than other people do. Which is, I change my shit all the time too.
You do.
Probably because I look at that kind of stuff so much.
You do.
But my profile pic, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it looks very good. I will say, I'm pretty sure my profile pic and my cover photo, I think it gave me options to only maybe update that for a week, and I think I picked that. So
it must have not worked. Because where are we?
No. Well, first of all,
boat
day was last Sunday, and I probably didn't make these pictures until, I don't know, what day are we on? I'm so confused.
Today's Tuesday.
So maybe I didn't. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yes, I did mention it. I didn't, I wasn't a jerk about it. I did not seem jealous. And I don't even think jealous is the right word. It's just, okay, everybody's seen them boobies long enough. Let's get something else up there. So.
Oh, wow.
I love your boobies, though. But, what's not to love about them?
I don't know. So why shouldn't we share them with the world?
Jesus.
Okay,
why shouldn't we share them with them? 8 words I never want to hear from my wife. Why shouldn't we share them with the world? Anyhow.
So, okay, well,
let's move on.
The problem
we
didn't take any other pictures. Like, we took literally 0 pictures on this trip.
And you look amazing in all the pictures. We really did get some good pictures together. And I haven't even posted a whole lot, to be honest with you. I know a lot of our friends, when we got back, they did the whole, what do you call it, a montage or reel or what?
Most of them just posted all the pictures.
Yeah, I haven't even done
85 pictures.
Yeah, I hadn't even done that. So
I did a reel.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
You did. It was a good reel too, by the way.
So anyway, I'll try to. I have some other ones, so anyway, I'll try to find.
Until then, leave it up, and I'll go look at it until you take it down.
Anyway, so that's pretty much like what happened. I feel like in Key West, we did do a little bit different from. We stopped in Key Largo.
Yep. On the way there.
On the way there.
Because on Friday night, I think we drove like 9.5 hours, stayed at a hotel, and then our plan was to kind of bar hop the next morning.
That's what we had planned on doing.
Right, because you couldn't check in until like 4 o'clock. So
and the place we stayed was really nice. Like, it was on a little canal. We had dinner right there outside.
Walking distance.
On the canal with the boats, and we had live music playing. We walked around. It was pretty cool.
So we had probably 2 more hours left to get to Key West, and our thought was, let's take about 5-6 hours to get there because we couldn't check in until 4. So we leave on time. I think we get out of there by 10 o'clock or whatever. We're 45 minutes into our ride. We're starving, and then we get a call.
We had already stopped at the place
with the lobster thing.
Yeah, the Locks of Love.
The Locks place.
The Locks
Why do you
thing.
keep saying Locks of Love?
I don't know, because it's
the Locks place. So that was cool. And then I can't remember if we'd stopped at a lobster place, but anyhow, Annie gets a call from the hotel.
It's like, Miss Leslie, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, first of all, I never answer unknown numbers. And I was like,
She's
okay,
clearly
let me
not she's clearly not a realtor.
right. So I was like, I don't even know why. I'm like, let me just answer it. And so I answer it, and they're like, Miss Leslie. And I'm like, yes. They're like, you forgot something in your room. And I'm a little like, what? I'm like, what did I forget? I didn't forget anything. Like, I know I packed everything. And they're like, you forgot, your gun. It was like she's trying to whisper it. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, Bud. Of course, it wasn't ours. It was Bud's. Bud forgot it. And because he had put it like in the drawer or whatever. And so we had to double back, which we were only like 15 minutes away. It was, yes,
bullshit
we were.
lies.
No.
40 minutes down the road.
Absolutely
we'll agree
not.
to 30. We'll
It was like 15 minutes
Okay,
because
well,
you were
ask Bud
hungry.
Meyer.
I'll ask. It feels like longer because you were hungry. You were starving. You didn't eat breakfast, which I
Which,
told
hold
you
on.
should.
Let me just say this.
I told you should eat breakfast.
Let me just say this. If you ever take a trip to Key West, do not, and I repeat, do not plan on getting brunch. Because them sons of bitches do not open until they want to open. And at a minimum, it's going to be noon. There's no 9:30. There's no 10 a.m. There's no 11.
That was Key Largo.
And it was even Key West. It was Key everything.
No,
them
I don't
son of
recall-
bitches do not
No.
open for brunch. Okay, check me.
I don't
Check
recall that
me.
being the case.
Go
in Key
Google.
West.
Go
We
Google 10
had
places.
breakfast. We went to a breakfast place and had breakfast.
Where? First of all, I don't remember that. Second of all,
The
it
place
wasn't
that was
brunch.
all cash.
It wasn't brunch.
Nobody said it was brunch. It was breakfast time.
No, I literally just said brunch. Like, you're not going to get a brunch. Meaning you're not going to get mimosas. You're not going to have drinks at brunch time. But these
Yeah, it's
okay.
not a mimosa
she
place.
found one effing place that opened at fucking night. So anyhow, I promise you, do not rely on that. Check these places because they don't open till at least noon. And some of these restaurants do not open until 4 o'clock.
Okay,
And I'm
anyway.
like, how in the hell can you be a vacation destination and you don't even open till 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
It's probably fixing to be there.
They live on island time. That's all I'm saying.
They're
Just
like
trust
off
me.
season. Anyway, so we had to double back and go back to the hotel and pick up Bud's Pew Pew. And the lady, I had to call her, and I called him, and she brings out wrapped in washcloths.
So Andy was like, "We got 2 free washcloths."
We got 2 free washcloths because they didn't want to touch the gun. I'm assuming they're like, I don't want my fingerprints on this gun just in case anything crazy is going to ever go down. I don't want to be associated with this. So,
Which I'm happy about because I don't know if it's the water or the washcloths,
the washcloths.
but when you soap up a rag,
Oh my God.
when you're on vacation,
Oh my God.
those white rags soap up better than any rag you can buy at any store. Tell me I'm right. They feel like cheap. They're thin. They're probably even a little rough to exfoliate your sunblock.
Can we talk
But
about
they
the fact
they foam and they lather better than any rag I have ever purchased from anywhere
I'm
else.
so glad you brought that up.
Sure, why not?
I am so glad that you brought up your OCD.
Here she goes again talking about another one of my disabilities.
Is not, first of all, it's not a disability. This is a prefer. This is what you prefer. And actually, it's not prefer. You're like a psycho about it. You hear me? I'm wheezing. Making sure
It's called
your
karma.
washcloth soaps and suds up. Matter of fact, this man will throw away an entire half bar of soap because it doesn't soap well anymore. It does not soap. It does
okay.
not suds
I'll
well
take a
anymore,
picture
y'all.
of the next
Please.
one.
Please do. Please do. Please.
We've had this argument before.
I know. For
And we-
16
and
years.
we
For
took it to-
16 years,
we
we've been
took it
having
to
this argument.
Facebook.
For some reason, it is a huge deal that you turn a light off, but it's okay for every other week you throw a half bar of soap away. That's okay. That
Okay.
makes any sense
I'll accept
whatsoever.
this. It's not true, but I'll accept
Exactly.
it. But-
As long
but
as it
what
works
I
for
will
you,
do-
it always is okay.
What I will do is the next time I decide to throw one away
Please.
that according to you is not ready,
Please.
I will take a picture
Matter
of
of
it
fact,
and
I
we'll post it.
think I have a picture already. Actually,
You need to focus. If I can't be on my phone, you
no.
can't be on your
Listen,
phone.
this is
It's
for the
gonna take you
podcast.
too long.
This isn't not for the
It's
podcast.
going to take you too long to
I
find
literally
it.
have a picture of
Okay,
soap.
when you
I'm
post
not
this
really
episode,
sure.
post it.
I'm not sure why I have
I
it.
remember you put it on Facebook, and all your family.
Recently?
No, this was like a year ago.
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago, maybe. And I can name some of your family members who chimed in, but I'm not going to.
Oh, please go ahead. I
No,
don't care.
no, go ahead. I'm
Name
not
them.
going to.
Name them. You
So
probably don't
anyhow,
remember their names.
Yes, I like when they lather up, and it's important to me. And
It's important.
right, because
You're
if you
important
don't get a good
and you are
lather, how
smart
can you be
and
clean?
you-
That's why your ass stinks when you guys are.
You're the one smelling your armpits when you get out of the shower.
I
and
do.
the towel.
Fair.
Everything else. Your
Fair.
nose. Oh my God. I can't with this right now because it's just going to make me mad. It's just going to make me mad. I can't.
You're already there.
Yeah, I
think
am.
you're already there.
Your freaking nose. I do not understand.
It's COVID.
I don't
COVID.
understand. I don't
I
understand.
wasn't like this before COVID.
You have always been like this. It has gotten worse. These things are getting worse as you're getting older. Do you realize that? Do you recognize that?
You mean my senses are working better as I'm getting
No,
older? Sure, I'll take
no.
that.
Your particular tics are getting worse.
So it's a tick,
It's a tick.
that I have a
Yes.
sensitive nose.
Yes, it's a tick.
Okay, sure.
It's not a sensitive. You don't have a sensitive nose for everything because
Welcome
this
to
shit in your
life's
Jeep that
little
you
arguments.
cannot smell,
That's fair.
but yet you can smell. You smell a towel and you're like, this stinks. It's not clean. I'm like, it just came out of the dryer, bitch. Like, I don't know how to make it smell any better.
Yep. I have a sensitive nose. What can I say? But my Jeep, for whatever reason,
It's not sensitive. It's
because
a
I'm in my.
tick.
It's because I'm in my Jeep the whole time.
I don't think it is. I think it's you're so scarred by your parents smoking that anything that could possibly
enough.
cause you not to smell good
Fair enough.
is where your tick in your sensitive nose comes from.
And I agree 100% with that. Guilty.
Oh, it's annoying. Anyway,
Do you feel better?
not really.
Okay.
Because there's no fix to it.
Stupid.
Don't like you right now.
I know you don't.
Oh God. Okay, so
This
anyway,
is the shit we argue over. by the way.
anyway, but you know what? We actually didn't really argue down there.
No, like the entire time. I know why. I mean, part of it at least.
Why?
The sex. I told Annie. I said, listen. I feel like we've had a pretty good sex life over the last how many ever years. But I told her, I said, I think that this is the best streak of sex we've ever had in our entire
And I
relationship.
love when you speak in such
Finalities.
yeah, that's
Definitive.
that's what it is, right? Yeah.
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 No, and I thought about it because she was like, "You sure the best, the absolute best." And I mean, we've had some good. Yeah, we have had some good. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but like it was just
The best streak.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. Yeah, it was good. And I think maybe just because like with you going through this
Why
perimenopause
is
stuff.
vacation sex better? Isn't it typically better?
Well, I think it's a few things. You got the pellets before we left, a
Right.
few weeks before,
That
and I think
was
those probably have kicked
Good
in.
looking out on my part.
And we actually did that a handful of vacations ago when you did it before, and that was good then too. I think it's, we don't have the responsibilities of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a couple of work things come up, but not much. We don't have these damn two bish poos in the bed with us.
That's a huge thing. That we got to figure that out.
Well,
We got to figure it out because I'll tell you, you're like, aren't you horny? I'm like, no, I'm not horny. And so I'm not horny because like in the bed, like we don't touch. Like there is a solid 2 foot,
yeah.
basically human size gap between us.
Yeah.
And there is no skin to skin touching on our
Yeah.
part whatsoever. So I don't know, how am I supposed to get horny if I don't have like that? To me is
Sure.
part of what makes me in the
You're
mood.
supposed to be like me.
Right, I'm
And
supposed
just
and
look into
think.
the sky
Right,
and get horny.
exactly.
No, so here's the other problem with that is, so we have 2 dog crates in our bed that we put
In the bed?
I mean, in the bedroom that we put the dogs in, and we give them bull penises while they. So we say, hey, get in your crate. They go in there and they chew on the bull penises while
I
Annie.
think you need to explain the bull penises.
Bully sticks.
A bully stick.
That's okay.
Pizzle.
Pizzle. It's a bull penis.
Bull pizzle.
That's literally one ingredient.
Yeah.
That's the
True.
ones we buy is one ingredient. So
True.
it's a bull penis. So if you think that a bully stick is anything other than a bull, so for a while we started calling them bull peanuts. So you're saying sounds like bull penis without saying bull penis. But anyhow, so we put them in there. We give them the bull penis, and then that's kind of when we make out, right? Well, the problem with that is. You're on
very
some sort of a
planned.
timeline,
Yeah, it's very-
and for
there's
me,
no-
for me, it's fine. I'm ready to hop back in there and let's get down, and then you're gonna have the skin to skin, you're gonna have the touch and all that stuff. But then it's almost to a certain extent forced a little bit too.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and that doesn't. I don't like that. It doesn't work for me. I need more of a.
I think the other part of it too is you have always, and I had to adapt to this, but you have always been a morning person.
I do enjoy the morning.
Yeah, and that's normally when you get horny, and normally when we have sex and everything else is like we just wake up and And I've always been a morning person, and I'm one that, like, and I'm ready to jump out of the bed and start.
You're a morning? Oh, you mean a morning person from his, like, get up and get going.
And I'm ready to start doing stuff. Well, then over time, I realized, okay, well, shit, I can't do that anymore because that's when she's horny, so I got to make myself available. So then it became like, and I'm talking over years. I mean, then it became, I get up, I go do whatever, I'm in there cleaning or whatever I'm doing, and then I'll get a text that says, "What are you doing?" And I know what that means. That means she's ready for me to come back into bed. So I'll do that now. So, but with the dogs in there, and the other cue used to be, you would just put your ass up against me and just like move a little bit. It's like, boom, she's ready. You know what I'm saying? But we can't even do that shit now.
No,
so,
that's the problem.
And I don't know I'll tell you guys, I had tried to put the dogs in the crate. I do not mind them crying. Like, I can go to sleep, I could have sex, I could do whatever. And it's not that I don't care about them being in there. I just know at some point they will get over it. Well, she can't. And then she's messing with the microphone right now too. So if it sounds weird, then that's the reason. But anyways, so Annie's also very mental, I think, when it comes to having sex. Like, for you to enjoy yourself, you have to be in the right headspace.
Yeah.
And the dog's over there crying does not allow that. For me,
no.
I could give two shits. I'm in the headspace I need to be in. So
I feel like that is probably, I don't know this to be true, but I feel like that might be a typical like man and wife thing. And maybe it's just because I have had them take on, or I have taken on such of this mom role with having these dogs, and I, it's not necessarily the right thing, obviously. Like, you're not supposed to Caesar said you shouldn't humanize them.
Too late for that. Way
too late for that. But I think probably because I do feel like mom with these dogs, that it's just, that's weird. It's strange.
Yeah, so you're the prime. So I think it's all those things on vacation, and then I think it's you have some drinks and stuff like that, which I don't feel like we drank a ton. I mean, it's just too damn hot to drink. I mean, we had some drinks, had some good time, but it was just so damn hot and exhausting. But alcohol always kind of lets you.
It typically lets me
you up a little bit too. So.
Let my guard down a little
bit.
But
anyhow, it was a great streak. Great streak.
Blakely, okay, come
she's
on
denning,
now.
She's denning right now.
Yeah,
so
the
what
back of my couch.
What do you think? You don't think it was top?
No,
straight?
I thought it was. No, it was great. I thought I was very pleased. The pellets seemed to be working pretty well. It's allowed me to, I feel like, loosen up. Not anybody wants to know that or hear that, but because painful sex that is a thing, and but I think it helped.
And you're going to go back and get tested again.
I'm going to go back next week. Yeah. So next week will be 6 weeks. I can be tested again. And then if
your testosterone.
Yeah. So if my testosterone is not at the optimal level, they will put just a teeny bit more in to kind of get me at the optimal level. So we'll see.
I don't care what we got to do. I'm going to Google that. I need to figure out a way to make your testosterone level show low.
Show low.
And then that way they can put some more pellets in there. Even if it's high, I need it to show low. and then that way they put some more pellets in there.
Oh,
but
wow.
Anyways, I thought it was great.
Yeah. So I think it was a successful vacation, and I think we didn't argue. I think the only
Would you say it's at least top 3 streak?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever. I could literally, it's been 16 years. I can't remember that far back. And speaking of, somebody's got a birthday this week.
Speaking of, somebody's got an anniversary this week.
Yes, we do.
I will be 46 this
You will be
month.
46.
This week, on Thursday.
Yeah, just
darn.
2 days.
Yeah. So anyhow, y'all give your boy a shout out. But also, it is our anniversary, our 16th anniversary.
I think we've told that story, right? That we got married on your birthday. Yeah. So.
But so anyways, happy anniversary to us. Happy anniversary to you, babe. Yeah.
Happy anniversary to you.
Yeah.
Just like cut that.
Thank you.
Conversation
because you're fucking pointing at the fucking microphone thing.
Because look, you're screaming and it's still not doing what it should do, so I'm confused.
They can hear me perfectly fine.
Okay.
I will tell, if you cannot hear me as well as you can hear Annie, please let her know. We'll fix it on the next podcast. She goes through this shit every time. Maybe my voice, it probably has nothing to do with the volume and just my range. Maybe because I have a deeper voice than you, it doesn't go up as much. So aggravating. Happy fucking anniversary.
Right. Happy anniversary to you too. So I binged. So vacation was good. I think we didn't argue, and I binged.
No luggage packing. No flying airplanes.
Honestly, no. And I for half a second, I thought it would be super fun to make some videos where I was dragging this suitcase all over Key West, but it was too effing hot that I couldn't even do that. No, I could not even
that would have
commit
been
to that.
Bad juju anyways.
Because we wanted to sightsee one day, and we got literally through two locations. I got a picture with Marilyn in front of one of the movie theater things, and then I got a picture in front of Robbie's house, which was right around the corner from our Airbnb, literally like
everything was
5 steps from our Airbnb, which was a little bit freaky after I realized it was so close. But it's a really pretty house, and I got a really good picture there. And then we got the rum picture at the rum distillery in front of like what is it? Like when you are being booked, you get like the
mugshot.
Yeah, the mugshot thing. And after that, I was ready to pass out. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Forget it. I don't need to see everything. It's fine. I don't care. Just take me somewhere where there's some air conditioning. And we did not do that. Instead, we sat at an outdoor restaurant.
You got a tattoo too, right?
I did get a tattoo.
You show a picture of it.
Huh?
You show a picture of it. I love the tattoo.
I don't think I've shown a picture of it yet.
So your angel's tattoo, vacation. Your hummingbird tattoo, vacation. This tattoo, vacation.
Yeah, so this tattoo is chrysanthemum, I think is the flower, and that's one of the flowers for like November, the flower for November. And the reason I got flowers for November is because, Jackson's a November baby, and Blakely and Lincoln are both born in November. And it happens to be my mom was a November birthday as well. So anyway, I got 3 flowers, and chrysanthemum flowers. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so I'm like, I didn't put their names on there, but I'll go back do that later on. And I get home, and
well, you made a post about it too, right?
No, I've not made any post about it.
I thought you made something about it. Blakely, Lincoln, Jackson.
No.
Where did I see that at?
I don't know.
Okay, anyways.
So anyway, I think probably one of the group messages or text or something. I probably put it. And so we get home, and Lauren, of course, I got a short sleeve shirt on or whatever, and so Lauren sees that I've got this tattoo, and she's like, I got a tattoo. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what is it? And so I'm explaining what it is. And I knew it when I was getting it done. I knew it when I was getting done. She's like, oh, okay. Well, what am I, chopped liver? And I was like, shit. I knew it went through my head while I was getting it done, and I still didn't do anything different. And I should have. So I'm like,
you're going to be going back and getting a lily.
So I'm going to be going back and adding to it. Yes, at some point. And adding in
That's where she knew. You must have sent something
flower.
To the family text, I'm guessing. Because she knew about it ahead of time.
Maybe. I don't know.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so a little lily on there would look pretty cool, too.
Yeah, I think so. So.
What's the flower for September, I wonder? No idea.
No clue. You want me to add one for you as well?
No, not necessary.
Okay.
But
if I want to, I can.
No, it's cool. You already have 3. So anyways, I guess the point being is like you apparently have a thing with vacations and not pooping and vacations and tattoos.
It was so hot. I'm like, I might as well. I'm not going to do anything else, basically. Just to stay in the air
conditioner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was great air conditioning in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, on the way home, I binged, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I binged that on the way home. And I had heard somebody else or seen somebody else post something on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I need to go back to that. And I just hadn't had time. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to watch this on the way home. And the first one, it reeled me in. It hooked me. I was hooked. And I started watching it. And the more I started watching it, the more I was like, I don't know. Is this how I feel about all this? So first of all, the way they hook you in is it's called Mom Talk, like mom, M-O-M, and then T-O-K for like TikTok, but Mom Talk. And which is actually kind of funny because they say they started this group called Mom Talk, and their hashtag was Mom Talk. Well, in the boutique, like I always, in any TikTok I ever do, like I always use the hashtag Mom Talk, and I just thought it was moms on TikTok. And so, but apparently they started this group as a group of wives to supposedly like they're Mormon, and so that's like a new generation of Mormon women, and like inspiring other women to empowering women, and this and that and blah 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 whatever. And what brought me into it is the Taylor, who is kind of like the main girl, or at least that's what they focused on first, is she gets divorced, which, I think when you watch all these other shows about Mormons, you typically don't think about divorce. You kind of feel like they're married and they're married forever, right? Or typically what they show. Or they show multiple wives with one husband. And so this was different because she gets divorced, and they're very young too. And then not only that, she goes on TikTok Live because she's like millions of followers, and confesses that she's been part of this Mormon group that they call it soft swinging. And soft swinging, she says, is, they all agree to particular ground rules or whatever. It's not sex, but they basically make out with each other, basically do everything other than actual intercourse is what it sounds like. And so they call it soft swinging. And so apparently this group that she started this mom talk with, they all get mad at her, and like
she outs some people.
Well,
when she gets a divorce,
she says she's part of this group or whatever, and they all say that they're not part of that group, and so they take a lot of backlash, I guess. And supposedly all the other ones that are on this TV show don't do that. So I've looked into it a little bit, and I've seen some of the people who might be part of it. But anyway, I guess she crossed a line, and she started catching feelings, which apparently is with, is it Dusty? What's his name? Was it Dusty?
Her guy now?
Yeah.
Starts with a D, but it's not Dusty.
I can't think. Dakota.
Yeah.
Dakota. And
I could have found that quicker if she had allowed me to have my phone out, but
no.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so it was very interesting. And so I watched all of it, and I'm like, oh, you're going to have to watch it. And so you literally then binged it like the night we got home the next day, and you were fine. No. Let me rewind. When we get home that night, we're like eating or something, and you're fine. But then Bud sends a text and says that we left a few things in their car. And it was your computer, my Stanley, and maybe your hat or something. I don't know. And you went off the fucking handle. Like you lost it. And
did I start yelling?
Yes.
No.
You most certainly did.
Okay.
What did you say?
I probably said, I fucking asked you. Because when we were getting out of the car.
Yes, that's exactly what you said,
right,
actually.
When we were getting out of the car, because I had some work stuff to do when I got home. And when we got out of the car, albeit it was a 13-hour drive, and I drove the last 4 or 5 hours.
Albeit it's not my computer to keep up with.
So I was warning. So then I'm getting the stuff out of the back of the car because, of course, we're excited to see the dogs. And I asked her, the only thing she needed to get, she didn't need to get anything out of the back of the car. I asked her, did you get everything out of the back seat where you're sitting? Yes. Of course I did.
First of all, I didn't say it like that.
No, I'm just saying you said it emphatically. Like, you definitely did. And literally, come to find out, you had 4 things back there, and you got one of the 4.
First of all, they weren't mine. It wasn't my sunglasses. They weren't my hat. They weren't my computer.
All the shit I was getting out of the back of the car wasn't mine.
I didn't ask you to get it out of the back of the car. It is not. It is the point. The point is that's not my computer to keep up with.
13 hours in a car, I was a little frustrated. Yes, sue me.
Okay.
I bought a cheeseburger.
So anyway, I feel like I let that slide. I'm like, it's not
She did not let that slide.
I did let it slide because you know what I did? I got in the car without throwing a fit and went and picked it up from Bud. It was not that big of a deal.
She was wrong.
Excuse me?
Because you realized you were wrong.
No, I was not wrong.
But I appreciate you doing that. You did go right over there.
Did you appreciate it?
Yeah, of course I did. Okay, you went right over there and got it. And I was doing something. I can't remember. Cooking or... I was doing something.
No, you were not fucking cooking.
I don't remember what I was doing, but I was doing something that prevented me from having to be able to go.
Taking a shit. That's exactly what you were doing.
I wasn't going to say that.
Right.
Coke. I was cooking was code for I was taking a shit.
Okay. Right. So anyway, I go and get it. It's not a big deal. We take the dogs for a ride. It's cool. Laura and I, we go. I pick it up. And so that is that. Not a big deal. So then the next day, you start watching this show, and I'm doing other stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. And you start binging this Mormon Wives, whatever. And I can tell, like, you start, like, getting irritated. And you get irritated. You start almost screaming at the TV, like yelling at them for what they're doing. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like it happened 2 or 3 times. And finally by the last time, I'm like, what is the problem? Like what literally is your problem? You were getting so triggered for some reason by these stupid people that mean nothing to us. Like what is the problem? And at that point, that's where I went from a 0 to a 10 because I'd had enough.
Did I give you a response? I
don't think I gave you a chance. I think I cussed you probably enough that I was like, there's no room for talking at this point. And then once I was done, I was done. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Don't look at me. Don't even think about me. I need you to disengage and leave me alone.
I don't know why I get like, because this is not the only show I get like that.
Yeah, it really triggered you for some reason. I don't understand.
I mean, there's something about, and I think it's one of these deals where, if I'm just being transparent, the thought of doing something like, or you doing something like that, like kissing a woman, for example, or doing like the thought of that stuff, I think is like fantasizing is cool, but then when it comes to actual reality, it just, there's no way.
You just said kissing a woman.
Okay, that's not a good example.
I was like, that does not seem like a good example because I feel like you tease about that all the time.
I'd be like, okay, cool. No, so that's not a good example. But like when you hear about like women cheating,
swapping, having an affair, like what is?
I don't know. It's like one of those deals where it's like it from a fantasy standpoint, it seems cool, but then in actuality, it's not cool. And I think that's. I don't know why it triggers me like that, though. It's kind of like, I told you the girl in college that, I've...
You told us. You've not told our listeners. Do you want to...
I don't care. So I've only been with a handful of girls my entire life. I mean, a lot of people don't believe that because they say that I'm a flirt and blah, blah, blah. But I literally have only slept with 4 women. And so... There was this girl in college, and I didn't sleep with her, but like literally the day I met her, she goes down on me, and I'm like, I fucking lose it.
But you allowed it, like you were like,
right,
cool.
She was fine.
We're doing this.
Don't get me wrong, she was fine. And she was
really?
cool. She was cool because I had been around her before. I mean, it's not like I didn't just meet her, but I had been around her before. She was like friends of this group. So anyhow, this girl ends up going down on me like when we first hook up, and I'm just like, and I'm talking. I got up and I blessed this girl out. I was like, what the fuck? You just met me. We hadn't even. I mean, just going off, and I think I made her cry. And
what
when I had told that story to people, they were like, you weren't mad at her, you were mad at yourself. And I think I probably was.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I don't know. I guess. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it that just, I don't know. I have no idea why. I guess because what it does is it makes me think about you doing it. And the thought of you being with someone else it sets me off. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like when I have like dreams and I wake up and I'm pissed at a dream.
All the time.
But let me tell you, most of the time and I tell you this all the time, but most of the time when I wake up with a bad dream, it's not necessarily because you've messed with anyone else. It's because something has happened to us and you don't give a shit. And it's your don't give a shit attitude
in your dream
that will fucking set me off the next morning. And I will wake up and I'll be like, I mean, it pisses me. It infuriates me. And it's not even the act of anything. It's the lack of concern for me, the lack of concern for our relationship, just the nonchalantness that just sets me off.
You need help.
So anyway, I guess I do. But anyhow, I say all that to say that I think what it does when I watch movies or shows, and I think it makes me think, if Annie ever did that, like I could not. There's no way I could do that. So
anyway, we made it the entire vacation without arguing until we got home on the last...
After a 13-hour drive.
Okay, it was the next day. It was sure.
Well, the show was.
13-hour drive, whatever. I wasn't in a bad mood after a 13-hour drive. Why should you be in a bad mood?
One of us drove and one of us didn't.
You didn't ask me to drive?
But to give props to Bud and Meyer, like they were great roomies.
Yeah.
And they were great riding partners because they're just so chill. I mean, there's so much more chill than we are.
The best DJs.
Yeah,
we had the best music all the way down there. A matter of fact, I didn't watch not one single show.
Yeah.
I don't know that I listened to a single podcast all the way down there, which is insane.
So it was great conversation, but they're so chill. They just kind of go with the flow and everything else. And the entire week and the Airbnb,
oh my God!
They were chill.
The last day you decided we were going to leave at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And then
set my alarm for 5:30.
Your alarm didn't go off.
I was sleeping. I was like, something's not right.
I felt like such a freaking douchebag.
Yeah. I set my alarm for 5:30. This has probably happened to me 3 times in my adult life, but I'm like, God, it seems like I'm sleeping in. So I look over my phone and it says 6:47. My alarm had been going off for an hour and 15, 17 minutes, just silently, I guess. I don't know what the heck happened. So then I look at the text and Bud had texted me. He's like, hey, you guys...
Like they should have come and banged on the door. I felt
so we
like
jump up and I think
asshole.
we get ready to go in like 10 minutes. Tops.
I felt like such an ass.
Which fortunately we had already packed most of the stuff. We had already packed most of the
but it was
car.
just the standpoint of they could have slept an hour longer like we did.
Yeah.
I just felt bad.
Our plan the whole time was to get home by 7, and even with that little bit of a late start, we still got home by 7, which is cool. So
yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Ended up being okay.
Yeah, we had an easy drive back, so that was good.
Yeah. Were there any other topics you want to talk about today?
I think that pretty much covered
Anything we can knock out real quickly, or we're going to save it to the next episode?
The only other thing that I would bring up is how we hold hands. We had put that on there, like, because a lot of people, you're walking, and I look at like my friends holding hands. I look at other couples holding hands. Anybody I see holding hands,
look at
like
on TV all the time.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I'm always looking at how do they hold hands. Whose hand is on top?
Yep. To me, that's the most important thing. Now, whether or not your fingers are interlocked or whether or not you're holding hands, doesn't matter. Yeah, to me, because look, we're not huge hand holders. Like I like holding your hand. I like grabbing your hand, but then we only hold it for like 10 seconds at a time. And then I'll grab it again, and then but it's not like we're walking around holding hands for like 10, 15 minutes at a time. No,
not usually.
I don't know why. I think it's because the pace that I walk with is much faster. I typically move my hands a good bit. So I think that's a lot to do with it. But
plus, I don't really know where we're ever walking where we would just be holding hands either.
Well, like when we walk the dogs or whatever, for example.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying. Yeah.
So, but I think the question is, so whoever these experts are, say that whoever's hand is on top is in control of the relationship. And so when I watch people on TV and you think, okay, you want to see whether or not this is a boss bitch or not, or if the dude's a little bitch. You look at their hands, and I'm not. Listen, if you're a dude and your hands on the bottom, I'm not calling you a little bitch. Some people may just.
Did you see this on the Mormon show? Did
no.
Come up on the Mormon show?
We've been talking about this for years.
Because we didn't really go into that. We can go a lot more into that next episode, possibly, because there's a lot to break down there.
I'm curious to know when you hold hands, whose hand is on the top. And if it's opposite of the guy being on top, does that mean anything to you guys? And
I doubt it.
I don't know. I'd be curious to know because again, I say they. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And these
I definitely look at it. It's weird to me if a girl's hand is on top.
It would be weird to me too, because that's just not us. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Now here's the other question.
And us trying to do it feels so strange.
God, I'd be like, what is? But here's the other question: is if the girl's hand is on top, who drives the car more often? I'm just teasing.
That's another thing. I don't like to. It's not just that I don't like to drive because you nitpick the way I drive. I feel like you should be driving the car.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's a manly thing to do to me, which is actually kind of. Is that weird?
It's always weird because I feel like my brother-in-law and sister have a great relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
And I always tell her Brian is the only person on this earth that could put up with you.
And there's no question. Brian is a
them.
man's man. He does all the manly things as far as
blue collar. He can fix
yeah.
anything. He's
But Angie gonna drive that car.
Right. That has always blown my mind. It's just it fascinates me that when they're in his truck, which is not often, he'll drive.
Yeah.
Very rarely. If they are in her car, which is most of the time, she will drive. And it's so odd to me. Like when I see it, I'm just like,
have you ever said anything to her about that?
I don't know. I feel like I probably did a long time ago. I probably tried to make a joke about it, and she didn't find it funny. So I just kind of...
She probably didn't talk to you for months.
I kind of let it go. But like the idea of you driving everywhere just...
I don't like it.
Strikes me so
And you know,
odd.
my dad... But I also grew up with my dad always drove. Like I never saw... Like
and Gary
always drove as well. Neither of them... Like my mom, my stepmom never would have driven in any situation. Now, I have to drive you occasionally.
Yeah, if I've had too much to drink.
We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it either because I don't feel safe.
Well,
let's just.
I don't like it because I think it. I look like a loser.
Listen, at least I don't.
Let me be clear. I think you look like a loser.
At least you don't pull up to the gas pump and I say, "Okay, go pump the gas." That's even worse. No, anyways, but I would like to know. And again, I was bullshitting about the. On top, like it doesn't bother me. It would feel weird to me for Andy's hand to be on top. But
let me hold your hand now.
But if that's the way y'all do it, then
it's just strange. It just doesn't.
It's whatever.
It doesn't. It's not anatomically correct when we hold hands like that.
Whatever works best for you guys. But you also like I'm a little taller than you are. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm right hand dominant, and you typically walk to the right side.
What if
holding hands on the left side would feel weird to me? Like holding your hand on my left with my left hand, I don't think would feel right to me.
We do that all the time.
I doubt it. I bet if you pay attention.
Absolutely, we do.
I'm uncomfortable just thinking about it right now. I guarantee you, if okay,
we absolutely
maybe that's
do.
why we only do it for like 5 seconds because I'm like, ugh, I'm cringe.
No.
I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, shit, maybe we do.
Yeah, because just think, if we were walking from down there to the house, you would be on the outside because you always try to make sure you walk on the outside near the road so that I'm not.
Right, so you would be on my right side.
No, I would be on your left side.
No, you wouldn't.
That's your left.
If we're walking away.
If we were walking this way.
No, baby.
Yes, Kent, turn your body around. That would be your left side.
And the road's over there.
Right. That's your left side.
If I'm standing next to the road, you're on this side, Dork.
Oh, okay, possibly.
Jesus. You don't even know the difference between your left and right. I have to point. When she says left and right, just disregard it because she's wrong 90% of the time. But yes, I try to walk next to the road. That's just the way I was taught. But now I'm going to have to start really paying attention to this. And as OCD as I am, this shit's going to drive me crazy.
I actually failed my driver's test because I turned the wrong way when he said go right. I went left.
At all. So anyways, I'm going to start paying attention to that. But I would really love to know, once you go and follow us and like us and give us a review, I'd really like to know if the guy or the girl in your relationship, or if you're same
whose
sex.
Whose hands on top? We just want to know whose hands on top.
Or same sex, is it the person who most people would perceive to be more dominant or whatever? And then do you have a preferred side? Do you have a left or right? Because this is really going to bother me now. I got to really think about this.
I'm fixing to grab your hand on that side, and it is not going to bother you at all. It's not going to feel strange at all. I promise you. Okay. We do it all the time.
What do you think I'm going to do with your hand?
I think you're going to hold it. What do you mean? Oh, God. Okay, never mind. I didn't catch on to that. Right. Okay. On that note, we will talk to you guys later.
Share, like and review. Give us a rating. I mean, all the good stuff to help us promote this and get it out to the masses. We're having a great time. I think we're on episode 12. I forgot to say that at the beginning.
I was literally cutting this off and you keep talking.
Hey, love you guys.
I love you. Bye. If you like this episode, I'd really appreciate if you'd rate, subscribe, and review our podcast. It really helps us push our podcast out to other people just like you that might enjoy it. So please do that for us. We would really, really appreciate it. And we're so happy that you tuned in this week. Thanks so much. Love you guys.